So in this video, I'm going to explain and answer the question, what are payments on account? So if you're submitting a personal tax return, chances are you may have heard of the term payments on account. And it's a term that confuses a lot of business owners, so I thought I'd explain quickly what it is. So if you're in a job, you are going to be paying tax and it's deducted at source. So you earn money in a month and your tax gets taken off and then you get the net of that. But when you're running a business or you've got personal income, you may not have to pay tax for nearly 9 months after the tax year, which is a huge amount of time if you think about it. So HMRC, it's payments on account, it's their way of trying to get some of that tax early. So you don't have to pay payments on account if your tax liability is less than £1,000 for the prior tax year, or 80% of your tax was paid at source, 80% or over was paid at source with things like employment or maybe a pension. So payment on account is you have to pay 50% on the 31st of January with your tax liability, and then you have to pay 50% on the 31st of July following that, and it's basically prepaying your next year's tax liability. So it doesn't include student loan, capital gains, and class 2 national insurance. It does include income tax and your class 4 national insurance. So say for instance you had a £2,000 tax liability this year, it triggers payment on account, so you have to pay an extra £1,000, which is 50% in January the 31st, so that'd be £3,000, and then you'd have to pay an extra £1,000 on July the 31st, so then that £2,000 then gets knocked off your next year's tax liability then. So if you overpay and you didn't earn as much as you thought, you can get things like a repayment off. If you don't pay your payments on account and you do earn the income that HMRC predicted, you'll have interest accrued on those payments on account that you should be made. But it's not all bad. I know it can be shocking that first year when payments on account are triggered and you're basically paying 150%, it feels like. But what you're doing is you're prepaying your tax. So you're organised, and if you are making payments on account, you're ahead of the game and you'll prepay next year. So I hope that helps, and I'll speak to you soon.